everybody. Welcome finally to another episode of the Elle and the Moon Craftcast, where it's whatever fits my whimsy and yours. How is everyone out there in podcast YouTube land today? Hopefully, excuse me, I've been sick. I haven't had COVID. I just got my third shot today, third jab as they call it, which jab, that is not a good marketing. Jab, nobody wants to be jabbed. But anyhow, I got my third shot today, so hopefully I won't get sick. But I am dealing with an upper respiratory infection and allergies. Here in Kentucky, it's allergy season again because of the weather change. It is like 50 something out. It's been so warm. You know, we had the tornadoes last week, which was very scary. I actually kind of lived through it. The tornado alarms were blaring everywhere. My dad woke me up in the middle of the night, me and my son. He's like, we have to get down to the basement. And I'm like, what's happening? And then I heard the alarms. He's like, there's a tornado. I'm like, I was very sleepy. And I'm like, I just gathered up my son, got our comforter, and we went down to the basement. Dad made a fire in the basement. Tried to go to sleep, but I could not go back to sleep. So I just waited till the alarms to stop and was very scared. And then I went back upstairs at like 4 a.m., took my son. My dad fell asleep on the other couch. I left him down there because he was snoring so loudly. But it has been really scary the last 2 weeks here in Kentucky with 2 tornado warnings. Tornado hit where I used to live in Stamping Ground 2 weeks before that. But I'm just thankful, and honestly, I've been crying a lot over the folks and stories that I've been reading about the people in Western Kentucky, what they have gone through. And there was this mom who held onto her children. She was on her mattress, and she like just hunkered down with her 2 little bitties, 4 and 2 years old. And she said they just flew up into the air and they ended up in the backyard. The next thing she knew, and then she was basically in a state of, not trauma, but shock when she was talking to the newspaper folks and was like, I can't find my son's autism medicine, he can't sleep, his sleeping aid. And I'm like, I started bawling and tried to look for this woman, but they don't have a lot of services up right now, and she didn't have a Facebook or anything, so I'm not sure what I can do, but I was going to drive down there, but it's like 3 hours away. But I just really felt so bad for this mama as a parent with a child with autism. Anyhow, this is a Craftcast that was very depressing. I'm sorry, but it's been on my mind lately. But let's shift gears. What have you all been making lately? Has anyone made any of the things from my patterns? Anyone? Ferris Bueller. I know that on my Etsy, folks that have purchased the one macrame mini plant hanger pattern that I have up, that they have made those because they communicated with me. But trying to get my blogger folk who read the blog to let me know if they made anything. But you know what? Hope springs eternal. And I'm sure in the new year I will get some direct messages or some emails about folks, what they've made from the elleandthemoon.com blog. Hopefully you can even do so as yourself as a Craftcast watcher. I have to be aware that I'm sick and like need to try to make sure that my voice is carrying out there. So just bear with me. Let's go over some of the makes recently. There's a lot. Okay, so let's jump right in, and I want to go over the sweater, which if you follow my Instagram or elleandthemoon.com, I've talked about it endlessly, or my Pinterest. Follow me on Pinterest. I do a lot of Pinteresting and some great pins. I finished the sweater, the Katie Jones Knitwear Blooming Bomber. I do need to tie in a few of the loose ends, but I kind of liked how the ends were kind of coming out. There was like a trend that I saw, maybe it was on Depop or somewhere, where people were showing the raw ends of their crochet works, and I saw someone wearing something. I thought it looked really cool, but I do need to put these loose ends in better and maybe add a liner. I don't know if I'll add a liner. Honestly, I may just cut down the loose ends and call it a day, but it looks great on. You can see a picture, oh, sorry. You can see a picture of me in it above. And in my I have Naughty Hobbies shirts that I have for sale on ellamoon.etsy.com. If you're looking for a last minute gift for anyone, just for any macrame artist, but it looks great on. I had to modify the pattern because I wanted it to be roomier, but I love it. I've already gotten a few compliments on it when I wore it out to a Louisville maker fair called the Flea Off Market, which is fantastic in Louisville, Kentucky. But fits wonderfully. It isn't the second one I've made. I think I did one of my Craftcasts about the first one that I made in like reds and variegated yarns, but it is done. I did not add pockets to this one, but I may go back and add pockets in the new year. I'm not really sure, but I love the way it feels on. Like, I fell asleep in it the one day, and I'm not one to sleep in wool, but I love it. And if you know anything about me, I love green. I'm like a green fanatic, so it has lots of greens and some pastels, and I just used up a lot of stash yarn, and then I had to buy some additional yarn from Michael's. I don't remember what brand it was, but it wasn't expensive. I probably should have, though, used a more expensive yarn because I don't intend to make one like it again. So I'd like for it to have a lot of longevity. But we'll see. I mean, I do have another one in a different color. So I have also been doing a little bit of knitting. Switching gears, I've been doing a little knitting. I'm trying to make up a chunky sweater pattern for myself. Like I said, I've been making a lot of things for myself. I enjoy it way more and then just writing up a pattern. I've never really made a knit sweater for myself, and I should have went to YouTube to figure out how to join in different yarn. I did not look that up, but before I make the rest of the body and the other sleeve, I'm going to look up how you're supposed to join in new yarn. This plumish purplish yarn I got it off Etsy. It's very expensive, but the rest of the yarn isn't really. But if you can see, you'll see that there's holes here, and any knitters in here will know why that happened. I don't, but I know it's because I didn't know what I was doing. But I just basically want patches of the burgundy / plum in there. But this is a sleeve. And it is a 3/4 sleeve because I get very hot, still in perimenopausal, so I don't want anything that is too hot on me. This sleeve is a 3/4 sleeve, this hand-me-down shirt from my sister-in-law. Like, I usually just pull my sleeves up anyhow, so no point in doing the extra work to go all the way to the wrists. So if I do finish the pattern and it looks good, this needs to be blocked. Obviously, I'll put the pattern up on ellamoon.com, or maybe I won't. I don't even know if anyone needs my knitting patterns because I'm not really great at knitting, so maybe not. But I'll show you the finished work. I'm already working on the body of it. I started that this week. And I took my knitting to the movie House of Gucci last night because I really enjoy Gaga, Lady Gaga. The movie was fantastic, but it was fantastic in weird ways. And not to turn this into a movie podcast, but I am for the moment. I have not been to the movies. I don't recall when the last time I went to movies. It's been at least 2 years. I mean, we've been in the pandemic, and I'm very careful, but the movie, Lady Gaga, she is truly a treasure. Jared Leto is in the movie, and I did not recognize him until our friend told us that's Jared Leto. His acting made him unrecognizable. However, I felt like his playing of this character in this movie was very comical. Like, Jared, I'm gonna need you to dial that back and redo. Adam Driver played the shit out of that role. He was so hot. Oh my gosh. I am a crush on Adam Driver now. So, but I do recommend House of Gucci. She is really captivating. Gaga. Anyhow, so back to the knitting. Working on this, gonna block this, gonna show you what it looks like once I finish the rest of the body and everything. I am trying to figure out, well, actually I'm doing a tutorial let me take this off of here. I have been wanting to make a fringy style macrame tinsel jacket, like something like the one that you'll see above. And I want to show people how to make it themselves. And this is macrame. This grid is macrame. So I have a pattern that I'm working on right now. I'm just working out the chinks in it right now of how to make your own either vest / jacket that is fringy like this. This yarn is tencel or lyocell. I think it's tencel, so it is good for it is reusable. No, it's from plant fibers. It is from Wool and the Gang. I love it. I love that it's good for the planet. It's not bad for the planet so far. I mean, in as much as we know. And that it's some natural fibers, and I like the movement on it. But this one I'm making for myself, and I'm going to film the video this week so folks can be ready for New Year's. If they want to make something themselves. If they're going to go out, if Omicron allows anyone to go anywhere. So... finish the project here. I'll show you the vest that I made for someone in Huntington Beach. I made it in black. I sold one other one last year or 2 years ago in off-white. It was in rope. I hadn't intended to make one again, but I reactivated the listing, and then someone immediately bought it, and then I was like, I don't feel like making anything else, so I'm not going to reactivate the sold-out listing. But I do like the way that it looked, and I'm thinking about making one for myself. It's me, I suppose. Okay, thanks for rejoining me. I have had to take a little bit of a break in between, so I have a different outfit on. A break of like 3 days. I've been sick, so still getting over the illness, but I feel great now. So I want to really try to get this episode wrapped up so I have another one out here. I don't have any Craftcast episodes for December so far. But I wanted to talk about the masks that I've been making. Got some African style Black Lives, not Black Lives, but they called it at Joann's Fabric. It was called, what do you call it? Black History Month type fabrics, which is just a diaspora of different colors of black faces, black ways of being, like African print. And my sister-in-law commissioned me to make earrings and headscarves and masks all in the same print for gifts. So I made 6 of those for her and shipped them down to South Carolina for her sisters and girlfriends. And then my dad jumped on the bandwagon and was like, I need 3 different things. I need 3 gifts as well. So finishing up this. Christmas is coming. Little head wrap, and I got to finish up the earrings. I've been messing around with the type of earring I'm going to make for his, because I got tired of making the ones that I made for my sister-in-law. I just got bored with the sewing. So I'm going to make like a little leaf and then just like click on for his lady friends. So glad to be done with some sewing. I mentioned it on my Instagram that don't enjoy sewing as much for other folks. Well, I do like sewing. It's just that I'm not as good at it as other things. I'm learning a lot from doing all these projects. I really just want to be making things for myself and then sharing with you all the patterns and how I make them, as you're aware. So, but those are almost done, and they are all paying me. So it's nice to have some paying gigs. I even made some stealers. As you all know, I lived in Pittsburgh for 15 years. I made some stealers masks, and this is one that I'm putting together for myself. It's basically kind of got a quilted effect, different pieces, because I'm almost out of fabric, and that's just the one side. So making myself a stealers mask. So you'll see that I have on my other stealers black and yellow. You know what it is. I made myself a little collar, V-shape with granny squares. Then I have my old uniform, one of my old uniform t-shirts on from when I played roller derby. And this was actually from a Katie Jones pattern, knitwear pattern. She has a collar. It's up on YouTube if you want to check it out, or go to her website, and it tells you how to kind of make these little baubles, which I really enjoyed making the little baubles. I did them wrong at first, but you can't tell. But then I fixed it, and then so I just threw this on today to jot around town. And but you know, I've been crazy about granny squares. I want to show you the progress on the maxi dress that I've mentioned before, the granny square maxi dress, which, excuse me, I'm having to completely revamp it. So behind me, I'm going to I've taken some of the granny squares from the granny square dress, the ones that are green and yellow, and I'm just going to make a top out of them. Not for myself, but to sell, because I don't have enough in this color for an extra large. And like you know, this is my small form that I really don't use anymore because it's kind of broken. This is the extra large form. It goes from large to extra large as you're aware. But I'm going to make a little crop top, put it on my Depop or in my Etsy. I don't use my Etsy a lot anymore, but for anything other than trying to get rid of what I already have had made previously, the macrame stuff, and putting up new patterns, which I haven't done a new pattern in 2-3 months. I've really run into a roadblock with that because my laptop broke, my brand new laptop that I only had 3 months, stopped connecting to the internet, so I couldn't get onto Google Docs. And I don't know, I gotta get a new computer in the new year so I can pump out more blog posts and get these patterns actually completely written out. I've had them on my blog, but I need to put them on the Etsy. So anyhow, back to the maxi dress. The maxi dress, I really only want it to be white, yellow, and black now, as opposed to having the green. It looks really, I don't know, it doesn't look that great or uniform. If you look at in either of these corners, you'll see it. It looks kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't look uniform. So I'm getting rid of all the squares that I've already made of the green that have green in them. I'm only going to use white and yellow. So I probably not going to be done with the granny square maxi dress until February now, which is disappointing. But I also, it's cotton, so I can wear it in spring and in summer. It's not wool, and I just kind of run out of steam on it because I don't know, go through phases with my making. I don't know if you all experience that where you're like working on something and you're like, I don't feel like working on this for another month or two. And then you just stop and then you return to it. Like I did with that sweater I showed you earlier, the Katie Jones Blooming Bomber. I hadn't worked on that in over a year, maybe 2 years. I was like, I'm ready to finish this now. So I started working on it again. Behind me, I found this beautiful cinnamon colored yarn, chunky yarn. I love working with chunky. And I'm macrameing myself a sweater. It's for me. I think that I'm going to do another panel that goes diagonal here and then diagonal there. So we'll just piece them together. The side diagonals are going to be in an olive green, which I have over there. I'll probably show it to you in a moment. And then the other bottom color is going to be in this Arabian, I can't remember what it's called. And I don't remember the brand. Let me get it real quick. All right, so it is this. It is called Nordic. I think I paid $5.99 on sale for it at Joann's. Knit and crochet premium yarn. It is a wool, 100% wool, product of Turkey. It is a super bulky. So, and this is working up really quickly. So I'll have another panel down here, and then here is the olive green. What colors? I wanted to tell you the color though. Color is olive, but this color, it's not called olive, obviously. It's Arabian something. Arabian spice. Cool, like that. So you see these two together. You know how I am with these colors. You see my wall back there. So I hope to have this finished this week, actually the next few days, because I want to wear it out. It's gotten finally cold a little bit here. So that's what I'm working on. But the next Craftcast will be just a retrospective of 2021 makes. Things that are on my blog, some macrame, some crochet. I maybe have one knit thing. We'll go over my pumpkins. We'll go over the handbags that I've made. I think I made 4 or 5 of them. 4 of them. We'll go over the tops and the sweaters and just the home goods that I've made. And just review all those things and talk about what's coming in the future. And hopefully, in 2022, those who read my blog or watch this can show me some of their makes via Instagram or direct message me. You can email me. My email's on my YouTube. I have a table coming for you, a macrame ring table. I have a couple of tutorials coming in 2022 for folks who go out and do markets, etc. A couple market ready, you can make them yourself, weighted displays. One of them's already on my Pinterest. So thank you for watching another Ella Moon podcast. Whatever fits my whimsy. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, subscribe.